Hi, Lou. Adam Proto from MapleLeafs.com. Obviously, another, the latest series of moves for the team. I'm wondering if you can talk about what James brought to the table and the way he reacted to the trade today.
Well, first of all, I think all of you know James better than I do as far as the type of individual he is. Being the longest Leaf of this present group that's here, so that I don't have to speak to the type of person and character he has, and he was the same way on the phone. So I don't know anything else we can say about him other than quality things in what he brought to the organization.
And just as a follow-up then, in terms of the deal coming together, was it something that had been ongoing or had it come together in the last little while?
Well, I think the reasons for it are the most important as far as timing goes. In other words, you never know when the timing comes about. But the reason for this is that in the plan or the process, the plan, as I said, is an overused word. We needed to take a look at our minor league goaltenders who are playing extremely well. As we all know, we've got the best team, in our opinion, in the American Hockey League, and we've had the best goaltending tandem there. So we have to take a look at Jared Sparks right now and see if how he performed when he did come up earlier, is something that is the real thing. We're going to have to find out about Beeble. So these are all things that are in the process, and you can't do it when you have two goaltenders here in the NHL. I can remember back in many years ago when we had to find out about a young goaltender in the minors in New Jersey, and it seemed to work out pretty well. You never know unless they give the opportunity, and the only way you get an opportunity is if there's a space available for that, and that's the reason for this. The timing certainly is you go as far as you can until you have to do that, especially when you've got a quality person and a quality player as we had in Reimer, and this is the best that could come about at this point.
Thank you, Lou.
Hey, Lou, Paul Hendrick from Leafs TV. How important would a long run toward a Calder into June do to hasten the development of your two minor league goaltenders?
Well, first of all, it is never our intention to not give them a long run in the minors and the experience, but I think it's we have to give them experience up here too, and quite frankly, our coaching staff and management has to find out, how they will play. As we all know, the American League and the NHL, there's, even though it's the next step like AAA and Major League Baseball, but there is quite a difference. You find out a little more about the shooters are at a different level, everything. So we have to find that out. But it'll be extremely important for them to be on a team that wins and wins and wins.
Lou, Lance Ormby from the Toronto Sun. Can you talk a little bit about Reimer and maybe the interest out there on him? Certainly, San Jose couldn't have been the only team approaching you.
Well, I think that, as far as interest goes, I think all you have to do is look at the goaltenders on the teams that are presently in the playoffs, so we're close to the playoffs. And there was not a real need for a goaltender in the opinion of the teams. And if there were a need, there was cap restrictions, which is very common these days in the new world where we look in the CBA. So there are a lot of reasons why sometimes things, as far as interest goes in different positions and what commitments are. But this was, something that we internally made a decision on, that we had to give the opportunity to these young goaltenders to see what they could do, and Reimer was a free agent.
Thank you, Lou. This is Steve Weiner from the AP. What's the condition on that fourth round pick in 2018 to make it potentially a third round pick?
If they go to the finals, if San Jose goes to the finals.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Lou, it's Rob Longley from the Toronto Sun. I'm wondering, Lou,
yes,
when
Rob.
you make a deal. I'm wondering, Lou, when you make a deal at the trade deadline with the UFA, how much you consider the possibility that you could get them back again on July 1st?
Well, that's always certainly behind your mind, and I think that's the best I could answer that. I've had, the good fortune to have, players who were traded, not necessarily at the deadline, come back, so that's not something that doesn't happen in the National Hockey League and will continue to happen. And I think in this world today of where, the caps is and, whatever transpires with the salaries, I think is going to be more prevalent than it has been in the past.
Thanks, Lou.
Lou, Adam Proto again from MapleLeafs.com. Just with the moves that have been made in their summary so far, in the moves that you've made, what would you say to Maple Leafs fans in terms of how you feel about where you are in the process, how the organization is looking at the moves that have been made of late?
Well, I think whenever you have a plan, you always go accordingly to it, as difficult as it is sometimes. And timing sometimes is on your side. Sometimes timing isn't on your side. But what we have done is try to acquire pieces that can help us not only to gain young prospects, but also pieces that can gain, players at the right time when that need be to be decided. And you never know when that is. So I think that the situation that, we have been in and what the process has been and what Mike and his staff has done with the team, and we can see exactly the competitiveness that we have each and every night, no matter who is in that lineup. So it allows you to make some of these decisions because we know that we're going to be able to play with anybody on any given night. And these decisions are made for today and tomorrow, or you could reverse that and say tomorrow and today, because today we're finding out about people that we have in our organization and whether they can do the job or not do the job, and we're also preparing for the future by acquiring picks or acquiring assets, whatever way you want to look at it.
Thanks again.
Lou, Lance Hornby again. Would you mind just talking about the new players who are coming from San Jose?
Yes, they two players certainly who have had NHL experience and certainly have played in the minors. We've all certainly seen them. As far as what they will bring to the NHL team, I don't think that at this given point they'll be here. But right now, we're going to get Jared Sparks in here to see just how he handles the situation. He will be in Montreal tonight as a backup. And once we get the players here, we'll find out more about them in practice as to, what they can bring and what they can't bring.
Thanks,
Lou,
everyone.
Dave,
sorry, just got a quick one. Lou, Dave Fester from the Toronto Star.
Yes, Dave.
Just wanted to find out. I know you don't know what Stalock or Smith will be at the NHL level yet necessarily, but what have you seen from Stalock as an American League goaltender?
Well, there's no question. He's one of the, he's handled the American League as one of the better goaltenders in the league, and we certainly know him from, his earlier days. But I think until you get them right in front of you and until you put them on the environment, you never know. But, we're going to have open eyes with this and give him an opportunity to us to see what he can do and then make decisions going forward. But I think that the focus will be on our youth as far as, what they can do, who we're very high on. But we have to give them an opportunity.
And Lou,
Lou, it's Craig Castles with ESPN.com. I just wanted to kind of, didn't mean to walk. In mentioning kind of, your plans with these draft picks down the road, is there a maximum in terms of how many players you would want to draft in a single draft in this process?
Well, first of all, this draft pick is in 18, so in other words, I think we have, a lot of picks right now. I think you have to be very careful. I think it's an excellent question because you can only sign so many players and develop them because you have to stay within the 50-man roster. And I think if you look along when transactions are made. Not unlike this one, you try and keep the contracts where they're at, and we actually made a transaction earlier in the year because we were at 50 contracts, and we made a transaction to reduce that. So, yes, the answer to your question is there are just so many picks, and you have to be careful just how you handle it and when you sign them because the clock starts ticking, and unless they're in junior, they count on your list.